The Moto2 World Championship kicks into gear here at the Grand Prix of Czechia. For the first time in 5 years, we are back at the Brno circuit. Welcome to what is going to be a very exciting 18-lap race. Let's head down to the grid.
Barry Baltus, he's in that.
Barry, it was a great strategy in qualifying yesterday for the pole position. How do you approach this one when it's a real bit of an unknown race, isn't it, a new circuit?
Well, we are at the moment the one that is closer from the victory because we start first, but we will do our race. The pace is not bad, and we'll try to understand as quickly the track with more temperature, and we will enjoy and we will see where we can finish.
Have a good race.
Thank you.
I like his theory there. Well, I'm closer to victory because I'm on pole position. I'm starting first. Good theory.
Yeah, I mean, simple but effective, and it definitely was effective in the qualifying yesterday. Did his fastest lap behind Joe Roberts, and towards the end was starting to struggle a little bit. Looks like Barry's really strong on braking this weekend, and in general, it's one of the traits of his riding style. He really uses the front end of his bike. I hope he doesn't abuse it too much during this race, because it seems like they're more on the limit with tire wear with the front tire. So yeah, maybe he's going to have to be a little bit conservative with how he rides and breaks into the corners. But Barry with pace, and yeah, it's a really strong season for him this year.
I mentioned Philip Salach. He's the home hopeful here. He goes in 9th, but just behind him in 10th is Alonso Lopez, and that's caught up with him.
Alonso, 4th row of the grid for you today. Just tell us about your weekend and how you found this Brno circuit.
Yeah, this track is amazing, honestly, and we will see what happened in the race, because everybody's struggling a little bit with the front tire. It's true that Barry, Joe, and Marcos has an incredible pace, but we will see, because everybody has the same pace, so we are gonna try our best and try until then.
Thanks, Alonso.
He's talking about people struggling with the front tyre there. Actually, Neil, I wanted to ask you about someone who's been really struggling, and that's our race winner from last week, Dennis Onchu. Struggled maybe in the wet and then didn't get through Q1. How unexpected was that? He starts down in 21st.
Yeah, unreal, isn't it? I mean, it highlights how difficult Moto2 is. When I think of Brno, you have to be smooth, you have to flow. When I think of Dennis Onchu, that's not how he rides a bike. He's a little bit too aggressive. I'm assuming he's forcing these S sections, rushing the first part. That really affects your exit. What's strange is when you ride like that, it feels fast. You feel like, oh, nobody could ride faster than me, but the lap time's not there. So, yeah, you need to let the track come to you. You need to be calm, and that's not how Dennis goes about it. Don't get me wrong, he will go forward in the race, and actually he'll figure out this circuit a lot more in the race.
Well, let's see if Aaron Canuck can figure out this circuit as well. He starts from 17th, and then Albert Arenas, he was in 17th, but he's been stuck with a 3-place grid penalty due to cruising the racing line in qualifying. So tough for Aaron and Albert in 17th and 20th. Okay, well, 18 laps now of Moto2, 43 degrees the track temperature. It's hot out there, and this race is going to be exciting. Let's hand over to your commentators, Gav and Michael.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Yeah, it is time for Moto2 in Brno, and this is a bit of a surprise front row. Ramirez rounding it out. Joe Roberts was pipped to pole by this young Belgian, Barry Baltus, from Q1 to his first career pole position. How will he get on in this 18-lap race?
Moto2 returns to the Autodromo Brno for the first time in 5 years. This is how they line up on the grid, though. Barry Baltus on pole position from Joe Roberts and Marcos Ramirez. Then it's Manuel Gonzalez, Daniel Holgado, and Senna Igus. Jake Dixon alongside Matteo Pazzini as well. And then Philip Salach starts in 9th. 10th on the grid takes it to Alonso Lopez and Cristina Vietti. Isaac Gavar alongside Jorge Navarro. Along then with Ivan Ortola and Zonta van der Gerberg. Colin Vire alongside Aaron Canet and Tony Alberino. Then we get David Alonso, Albert Arenas and Dennis Onchu. Alex Escray, Emil Sasaki and Dan Binder. Adrian Huetas, followed by Tachia Hadja and then Yuki Cooney, Eric Fernandez, Milan Pelwick, and Diego Maria lines up in the pit lane for irresponsible riding. Under starters' orders then for this one, the Moto2 Czech Grand Prix coming up, and this is going to be an exciting event. Let's check in with TNT, Michael Laverty, alongside with Gavin Emmett.
This weekend, Barry Baltus, although I think Joe Roberts is in the driving seat, but Barry also close a week ago in Germany. He's out to make amends here. He's managed to make tyres go the distance. It does seem like he's took a bit of a gamble going for the hard front tyre. The rest at the front end of the grid, apart from Salek, should I say, sorry, and Aaron Canet have gone for those three riders have gone for the hard front. And we heard from Lucio Nicastro, it is going to be quite tough on front tyre wear, so that's why I'm leaning slightly more towards Barry Baltus, but the soft tyre typically does hold up quite well, so it'll be an interesting one.
And the warmest conditions we've had all weekend, currently air temperature 26 up to mid-40s in terms of track temperature, so keep an eye on those front tyres. Will that decision, that choice from Barry Baltus be crucial? Because Joe Roberts looked clearly the fastest. He did test here a few weeks ago and had some good information. Aaron Canet hasn't necessarily looked on it. He starts down in 17th after he crashed in Q2, promoted from 18th because Arenas, he got a 3-place grid penalty for his slow riding earlier on in the weekend. Mattia Pezzini's a bit of an unknown as a wild card this weekend in the middle of the third row on the grid. Yeah, he'll be getting stuck in.
He will indeed. Obviously the elder statesman of the class, 39 years old, returning to this field and immediately putting himself in the third row of the grid. He could race and pull the surprise out of the hat today. He's looked good all weekend. Every time we've seen him on shot, very smooth, fast on entry. That's how he likes to ride. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Mattia Pezzini can do today.
It's going to feel like a long 18 laps for the Moto2 field as Barry Baltus powers his way up towards pole position. If he sat there a while waiting to get going, he matched Joe Roberts lap after lap in qualifying and just pipped him in the end with a little run to the line. Will he have to do the same in the race? If you're Joe Roberts, you want to get to the front as quickly as you can.
Yeah, well, this is going to be the run down to the grid that everybody's waiting for. 30 riders on the track. The Moto2 Grand Prix of Czechia is about to get underway. The revs will be up. We'll be ready for the start procedure. Green flag at the back. All eyes to the red lights. Barry Baltus on pole position for the first time. Will he have it down to turn one? Lights are on. Lights out, we're underway. It's a poor getaway from Baltus, who actually runs into the side of Manuel Gonzalez down towards turn number one. Marcos Ramirez takes the lead of the race. Joe Roberts dropped down as well into the inside line. He got touched as well on the front line. Jake Tix are getting forced down. Oh, and contact! And Aaron Canet's been taken out in the middle of the pack. Well, Canet was coming back on. He was trying to regain the racing line after getting one of the Meyer VDS's just ahead, taken wide. Unbelievable start there. Baltus then down into third place. Aaron Canet's out of the race and he's up and running away. But it's all concertinaed at the front. Marcos Ramirez leads. Barry Baltus is second. Joe Roberts third. Manuel Gonzalez has dropped down to fourth position as they come through. A very weird start to this race as well. You can't really navigate who's going to be where. So, lead of the race is Marcos Ramirez. Then we get Joe Roberts battling with Barry Baltus. Roberts' bike is sliding at the rear, trying to get it back under contention. Philip Salek moves ahead. Yeah, Dixon went wide and he's been down to 15th place as well. He was the one who made contact with Aaron Canet, and Alonso Lopez, I believe, has either crashed or dropped down the order, because he has dropped down for, actually it could be transponder, because he's just jumped back up into 10th position and I can see him on the monitor. So a transponder issue there for Alonso Lopez. I can't confirm that. I can see him on the running order right now. As on the inside line, more action to Zaizan Guevara. Tries to get ahead of Senna Igers and does so. Yeah, Canet has rejoined the race. Ramirez, of course, who has a double long lap penalty for the irresponsible riding, as we know. So that's going to be differentials to come through for the collision back in Germany, as Plug has put into the chat as well. So lap one complete, and back to the lead of the front is Barry Baltus. Joe Roberts is battling with his teammate Marcos Ramirez. Canet has rejoined, as now to the inside line at turn 1. Ramirez desperately wants to lead this race, but the American team is being held up by each other, and that's going to allow Baltus just to breathe a little bit at the front. This is more energetic than the Moto2 race we just had around about half an hour ago as well. We got 3 wide coming into turn 3, and into the lead of the race goes Marcos Ramirez, but goes out 2 wide. Barry Baltus gets the undercut, swings around the outside line coming into turn 4. Meantime, Manuel Gonzalez in a battle with Hologado and Philip Salak. And Dixon's back up into 13th place as things stand. Down into the braking zone for turn 5 and 6. And it's lead of the race for Barry Baltus. Ramirez hasn't done it. Here's the race start though, Michael Laverty.
Race all a buzz as we go into the stadium section.
As I was mentioning, Baltus's hits a little bit too far off to the side, and it obviously caused an imbalance whenever he started and almost went into the rider alongside. Look, he's already leaning a bit too much to the right.
Debris.
Almost collects Joe Roberts, but yeah, quick action from behind.
What was that came off Joe Roberts' bike there as well? He got that debris, it looked like, that might have been on the track. There you can see Salach on the inside. Oh, and Dixon pushed out wide. What is he? Aegis was pushed wide by Salach. And then actually, it was one of the forward backs. I think it might have been Jorge Navarro making contact. Yeah. Look at Navarro on the inside.
I think Canet gets... Oh, Canet just loses it all by himself.
Oh, okay. I
thought... it looked from the overhead shot that it was Jake coming back online, maybe wiped his nose, but actually... Aaron on the throttle, just front tyre not up to temperature, and it just let go. He has been... So
Canet just dropped it on his own. Dixon had nothing to do with that. That is why angles are so important in motorcycle racing, because no further action after revealing for Canet and Dixon, because on the above angle, it looked like Dixon just wiped Canet out. But now we get to see the onboard of Canet. You can see he's just dropped it on his own. That's a really confusing image. That is unbelievable. It's almost like it's 2 different events. Baltus, though, leads. Ramirez second. Roberts third.
Well, no, not for many longer. It just dropped back to 5th. Philip Salach has got through. Oh, no, he stayed ahead of Isan Guevara because it's Lopez now behind him. And Isan Guevara passing Salach for 6th.
Into turn 3, there's a bit of a break behind Salach now to Alonso Lopez, Celestino Vietti, Aegis, Ortola and Arenas. But Arenas has done well. He had a poor qualifying, languishing down there on the 7th row of the grid, but he's made his way through in these early laps.
Always been a good starter, hasn't he? Albert Arenas with a hand up from Ramirez to say to his teammate Joe Roberts, I am going for the long lap loop.
Yeah, he's doing now.
Is this a good Joan Zarco style through the long lap? I'll tell you what, he's done a really good job.
That's perfect.
There, hasn't he? Pretty impressive from Ramirez, rejoining down in 7th spot now.
I think he might have watched a few replays of the 2020 Johan Zarco long lap loop. That was nicely done by Ramirez. He's got one more to execute, and it's kept him in touch. So if he can... Obviously, he's going to lose another couple of seconds next time around, but he's back on the rear wheel of Salach. He's had good pace as well this weekend.
He has, hasn't he? Had really good pace all weekend. Barry Baltus just lighting up the rear as he applied the throttle out of Kevin Schwant's corner. Tyres are going to come into play in this race, but hold the front tyre, and Baltus has gone with a harder option there. Let's see how that develops. You can see the white rim on the front there for Marcos Ramirez.
The American racing team put a lot of time and development into the change to Pirelli tyres last season and analysing the temperature and pressure scenarios. You can see Joe Roberts with the white front wheel as well. That does help dissipate some heat, some temperature from the rubber.
Fastest rider on track, championship leader Manuel Gonzalez, who's just bettered Joe Roberts and Barry Baltus by a 10th. Here's Moreira, down in 29th position, 7 seconds behind Pavelec. His pace, though, is about pace of 17th, 18th. It has just not been his weekend.
Yeah, we assume it's injury from the previous weekend's crash, but yeah, he's not been on it at any time, really, in all conditions. Struggled a little. We've seen a few fast laps here and there, but yeah, he's languishing 7 seconds off the rear wheel of Pavelec at the rear of the field, so I don't think he's going to score any points today, especially given the pace. It's not going to move him forward in a hurry in this race.
Ramirez has 5 laps to complete both of his long lap penalties. Is he going to go again? I think this is the right decision. Get yourself back in the race. Get yourself, see if you can make up a couple of positions. before you do the next one. Otherwise, what would happen for Ramirez? You go again, you're down in 13th, 14th, and you're never getting back.
Yeah, you can get stuck in that second group.
Just to let you know, I see Bez is asking the chat, where is Aaron Canet? Aaron Canet is out of the race, but he has, actually he's rejoined. He's now in 30th last overall.
Lap for him.
To Schwartz, bottom of the hill have been climbing. Canet has rejoined, but he is a long way behind. He's crossing the line where we just saw Moreira moments ago. He's not going to score any points today. Aaron Canet, he's 1 minute 21 behind the Brazilian.
He is lapping at a similar pace to Holgado, Guevara, Salach. So even though it's been a tough weekend for Canet, he used this as a little bit of a test. Moto2 do have a test here tomorrow. So it is a Moto2 test on Monday, Moto3 test on Tuesday. But yeah, coming into the summer break, Canet needed points. He's been so consistent. He's only 9 points off Gonzalez, who's currently sat in a 16 points 10th position, whereas Canet, I don't think he's going to get anything.
Wider there for Gonzalez.
Oh, he touched the green.
Roberts, though.
Barry Boltis touching the green as well, having an all out of shape. Remember, we had a 4.
Get a feel for this race, easing his way into it.
Tell you what, you want to see where everybody is, take a look at this. This is the lap chart that we get shown by Race Control. Just take a look at the bottom of the monitor. That's where you see where Aaron Canet ended up, right in last place as well. But smooth start from Boltis. So far, he's led every single lap. Terrible start, though, from Dixon and from that of... I'm trying to see actually where Cassini's ended up. Down in... Oh, way down the order. As Panzi's crashed out. That's probably why I can't find him. Matteo Panzi has crashed out of the race.
Tony Arbolino ahead of Jake Dixon. Behind Senna Aegis. Mattia Pezzini, I'm sorry to say, has crashed out of the race, so the wild card is not going to be scoring any points today. He was down in 20th. Early end team, always that classic helmet from Mattia Pezzini, but not to be today. No fairy tale, unfortunately.
So where do you think Ramirez can get back to? He's tucked in behind Aegis. You could call it 13th
in the pits.
In the race after the next penalty. So he's completed it. It's going to be game over for Aaron Canet.
Yeah, tried to keep going, didn't he? That's maybe a problem with his bike, and you don't blame Aaron Canet now for pulling in after a clash on that opening lap. At the moment, Joe Roberts happy to sit in tight behind Baltus. You feel like Roberts just taking care of his tyre at this stage, don't you?
Yeah,
similarly
that
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, you always know he's got that in mind, so I think it could be a case for Joe as well. Let Barry work hard. Joe's had such good rhythm all weekend. It just shows the benefit of the test. The American racing team, they worked hard here. They left the test fastest. The lack of dry track time on Friday has really paid off, and Joe looked at it the previous lap up into turn 3. He's going to go wide, though.
He is going to go wide through turn 3. Baltus has let him come through. Manuel Gonzalez is watching this. He'll be happy watching this as well. They start doing battle, start stressing their tyre, turning that bit tighter, pushing that bit harder. But I think Roberts feels like he can get away at the front here.
Yeah, I believe so. And also another retirement from Moreira, the rear of the field. And yeah, he was 22 seconds back, so it wasn't going to come to anything today.
Must be an injury.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Anything.
I seen him walking through the paddock this morning. He was moving freely, smile on his face. So yeah, it could be fingers, hands, something that's not visible when you see him walking about the paddock. But yeah, it looks like he certainly struggled.
Mattia Pezzini has rejoined the race down the back of the field. Meanwhile, Barry Baltus holding firm over Roberts. Making a bit of a V out of the Schwartz corner. Baltus, of course, has never won a Grand Prix. Joe Roberts not won since Mugello last year.
Wow.
Gonzalez told Nat on the grid that he was going to just learn on these early laps. He felt a little behind in terms of pace throughout the weekend, but he's got, you always know, racing head. Manny Gonzalez, he's got the full 18 laps in mind. He's happy enough to let these two work up front.
Yeah, well, Barry Baltus has had 80 starts in Moto2, never a race win. He started Qatar 2021 as Joe Roberts dives to the inside line down in turn 1, goes a bit too deep along in the tooth, and that allows Baltus to get back on the inside and sweep back into 2. But Roberts has the run up now towards turn 3. Inside line, they're side by side. Last of the lane breakers, Barry's going to hold in on the inside. Roberts has got him and he's taken it back. Joe Roberts takes the lead of the Moto2 Grand Prix of Czechia. And now look at Manuel Gonzalez directly behind in 3rd position. He's going to have a go on Barry Baltus down in towards turn 5 and 6. We come now. Roberts just completing it. So, Pansy has officially retired from the race, but we have got both Ramirez long lap penalties complete. Ramirez has rejoined in 12th position. He's lost 9 places from where he started. Boscuro 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th at the moment. That's from Tig. And I can agree with you on that. It's an exciting race as we've got the American Joe Roberts leading for Kalex. It's a Kalex 1, 2, 3, 4 as things stand. Boscuro take the next 4 places, then Kalex again between them. Forward, the only other manufacturer on the track as well. We've got by Navarro 18th, and Alex Escray is in 24th position. But Kalex at the moment dominating the top. They leap on the brakes in towards the final couple of corners then. Joe Roberts a 1/10 of a second ahead as they come out of the last corner. Is Barry Baltus going to have anything over the line? He's super close at the exit. He gets in the slipstream and just tries to light up the rear tyres. He's looking to the inside line. And I will agree that for the first time this season, when I've been covering the racing, I know you guys have had TNT for a couple, and I missed, I think, 4 races in a row due to other commitments. As soon as I've been covering the series again, I can see why people say this is one of the best Moto2 years we've had in a long time, because this is fantastic racing in front. Moto3, we had Raider jumping ahead for the distance, and now we've got a 3-way fight, a 1.5 second gap, then it's everybody else. As Vietti gets ahead of Philip Salak for 6th position. An outside move down into turn 6. Nicely done, actually, as well. But still, Joe Roberts leads this race from Barry Baltus, Manuel Gonzalez, Daniel Hologado, Isaac Guevara, Justino Vietti, Philip Salak, and now Senna Igas dropped down to 12th place. Ramirez and Arenas jump up a further 2 on the overall positionings. Yeah, you do wonder, don't you, what's going to happen next? Back to TNT.
It's unfair to say he's been right on the pace. He's worked at it and just got there a little faster than his team.
Watching Albert Arenas down in 11th spot behind Ramirez. So Ramirez has moved up a couple of positions already. Really good, isn't it, for the American racing team? Tough start to the season, but as we said earlier about crashes and, you know, Marcus Ramirez, that was his first crash of the year back in Germany, cost him a double on lap penalty. Yeah. They really are starting to come to the fore again.
Yeah, as a team, it looks from the outside, both riders are happy. They're fast. Joe's immediately recently re-signed his contract for next year, so he will be retained by the OnlyFans American Racing Squad. I understand Ramirez has offers from other parts in the paddock, but yeah, it looks like everything's working for the American squad.
Roberts again crosses the line. Personal best lap for Barry Baltus. Personal best laps for Olgado, Guevara and Vietti, who are starting to pick up their pace. This was a start again. Have a look at Baltus off the start. Just with, you know, starting on one side of the bike like that, it just felt like it was always going to be veered towards Joe.
It certainly had a little bit too much weight bias right into the... Well, he was trying to lower it as well. Just compromised him as soon as he dropped the clutch. The front wheel comes up. But yeah, for someone as lanky as Barry, would start much better with both feet on the ground. Motocross style, speedway style, really plant it and just jump it off. It helps you balance as soon as you drop the clutch.
We had that discussion with John McGuinness, didn't we, earlier on this weekend?
Yeah, it is. Most motocross riders are very good when they come across into road racing. They're very good starters. John, an ex-motocrosser himself, and he was saying the same. It's like, I can't understand why riders start with one foot up, unless it's covering the rear brake. But a lot of these riders have a rear brake operated from their left handlebar as well.
Yeah, the TT legend himself has loved his first ever weekend in Brno. They are pulling away here from Manuel Gonzalez. Roberts and Baltus, at the moment, pace too hot to handle for the championship leader.
I don't know if it's been a mistake from Gonzalez in the first sector. He crossed the line only 3/10 down on Baltus, but yeah, it looks like he's lost a lot in this lap. Maybe another half a second in sector 1.
Dennis Onchu thought about it on Senna Aegis, currently in 13th. Race winner, of course, just a week ago. Just shows, doesn't it, how topsy-turvy the Moto2 field is. A week ago, Joe Roberts was 10th on the grid, battling to 6th. And in this case, he's leading, and Dennis Onchu's way back down the order. Joe Roberts picked up the pace, another 10th on that lap. Barry Baltus the personal best lap. But Manuel Gonzalez now nearly a second behind the lead duo.
If live championship-wise, now Barry Baltus would move into 3rd in the championship, not far off his teammate. You would not have picked that pre-season. You've got to say, just past the halfway stage, he's impressed. The way he's been able to fight, the way he should have won potentially in Germany, or felt he could have won in Germany. And then pole position yesterday made him pole, leading the early laps in this race, hanging on to Joe Roberts. He's just delivering everything that's thrown at him.
So what's changed then? Because is it just simply a matter of that's a better team?
It can be people, it can be base setting, it can be something, you know, for Barry himself, just unlocking that belief. He's been a few years in the class and had a tough year last year. But I do think when I watch the Fantic Bikes trackside, they have a good base setting. They've got something that looks really stable. It looks like it turns well, and I think Barry's been the benefactor of moving across there to that information. All the material's the same. RW Racing had the same Calic chassis, same Olin suspension, same material in terms of the Triumph engine, Magneti Marelli ECU, so same Pirelli tyres. There's not a lot of actual differences in the material used. It's how you put all the components together, I guess.
Just a click with a crew chief,
exactly,
something like that, can't it? Just be the difference. But what it proves is there are no bad riders in this class. We knew that anyway. But throughout the field, you go all the way down to the back of the field, and there are some really good riders. His teammate Zonta van der Gerber is currently down in 21st with Colin Fire and Ayumu Sasaki. You know, championship challengers in Moto3, but they're well out of the points.
Yeah, the depth of field is tough. When you look at a rider like Darren Binder down in 19th, who may well find no room at the end next year, at least the rumours sound that way, but a quality rider, Darren Binder, being a MotoGP rider. Look at this from Roberts.
Joe Roberts is starting to up the pace. Manuel Gonzalez is being told that Canet is out, and as he was a half second slower than Roberts on that last lap, Gonzalez is effectively being told by his team, we're happy with 3rd here, mate.
Yeah, exactly, as Joe winds the wick up. That's impressive from Joe as well on lap 10. Just smashing a new lap record of 59.4. He's been in the 58s quite consistently this weekend, so he may well have a little bit left to play with here, as it just looks in control for Joe Roberts at the moment.
Spoke to him a lot. I know we've had an interview with him here this weekend with the team too. Injury plagued him. Crash at Phillip Island the end of last year, scaphoid. Still wasn't recovered from it at the start of this season. And he also had a middle part of the year last year, didn't he, after he was overlooked for the possibility of MotoGP? A bit like Sergio Garcia, when form went away from him. And to have recovered from that, to have got the confidence back, to be in this position again, that's testament to his character, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. The injury first in Assen, then the psychological aspect of thinking you're about to be a MotoGP rider and it all disappears. Someone pulled the rug from under you. He had to compose himself again, reboot. Then he had the scaphoid break in Australia, missed the end of the season. Watched Jorge Navarro jump on his bike and perform in Malaysia. Go through a tough winter, come back. It's not working in the early rounds. You know, it does show a strength of character, a resilience to be back at the level that he's gradually built to. Quietly done it as well over the last few races. Been very evident as he's improved his feeling, and front end feel I think is key for Joe, and he's had it in spades this weekend.
Philip Salat still doing the Czech fans proud here in 7th place. Not quite got the pace of the lead riders. Barry Baltus has responded to Joe Roberts at the front. He was just a tenth quicker than him on that next lap. Still in the mid 1:59. Still a personal best for Baltus.
Yeah, impressive from Barry to be able to respond there. As Alonso makes the move on Jake Dixon down into turn 1, he will go slightly wide. The door is ajar and Jake puts his Bosco Oscuro chassis back up the inside. But yeah, looking at the battle at the front, it is...
Dixon's saying, yeah, follow me.
That worked.
Right on cue. David Alonso says, not today, my friend.
Not playing that game.
Yeah, they are mates.
There's Senna Aegis. He hasn't quite got it going in this race. Mum's here with him this weekend.
The front end maybe walked on him there as he changed direction. We did hear about the front end woes for some riders.
Yeah, Dixon's right back on the inside, and Alonso sweeps back through. A nice little swap back between them now, actually. Well, it's a surprise, but the leading group still, Joe Roberts, Barry Baltus, and Manuel Gonzalez. Not exactly the overall situation we were looking at, but this will put the championship now. Manuel Gonzalez, 25 points clear of Aaron Canet. A whole race victory, the largest swing of the season so far, as Canet retires. The championship leader coming into this round will not be the championship leader going out of it. So this is going to be a whole big change. Well done, Manuel Gonzalez. He's running in 3rd place at the moment. He's dropped 2 seconds back, so the race win is up for grabs between Roberts and Baltus.
Top left of your screen, you can see already the leaders are in the final chicane. We're heading up there now with Jake. Currently in 14th, not at all where he expected to be, but it all went wrong off the start. And once you get mired in Moto2, the game's completely changed.
Yeah.
Unless you're Diogo Moreira.
Very, very difficult. Obviously, Moreira last weekend, the race of his life to come through the field. Wasn't to be at the end after the collision with Jake, but he improved that it is possible to come through. And we often see it in Moto2 when you get outside that second group, you're stuck there all race long. Gonzalez had it in Aragon. Fantastic pace, speed all weekend. Slip up in qualifying, went down in 18th from the grid and couldn't make it back.
Can I give one mention, just as we see this scrap here, Albert Arenas now, even Ortola, both trying to get Alonso Lopez for that 9th spot. Danny Olgado in 4th, rookie, and he is the rookie of the year so far, up in 4th place. That is seriously impressive.
It is, yeah. We've been singing his praises a lot this year because rookie status coming in. He wasn't the hot favourite out of the 5 rookies to join this championship as David Alonso takes profit from the slightly wide, force wide for Alonso Lopez. But yeah, teammates David Alonso and Holgado arrive in Moto2, both rookies, and you think David Alonso, Moto3 world champion in spectacular fashion. He's going to be the best of those two, but it hasn't been. Holgado's gelled well with the bike. He is stature-wise a little more stocky, carries a bit more muscle. Naturally, although Alonso has put on some muscle of late, I think Holgado's impressed. He's just adapted to the bigger bike. When he was on form in Moto3, he liked to lead from the front, and now he seems to use that approach here. He can set a good rhythm. He is the chase man for the podium here in this race by himself.
These are your leaders. Joe Roberts on the 16, Barry Baltus on the 7, still keeping the Californian honest. A sweeping line again from Joe Roberts through turn 13 and 14 now. Still Baltus clinging on to the coattails of the American. Manuel Gonzalez, a lonely ride now for him there in 3rd, but he won't care. 16 points will be more
he knows
than
the
welcome
championship is his.
to his championship account. Then you just saw Danny Olgado across the line. About 2 seconds himself behind Gonzalez. Guevara, he's having another good ride, Guevara, in 5th spot, former Moto3 champ. Celestino Vietti is 6th. And then Philip Salac, a lonely ride in 7th. Ramirez has made it all the way up to 8th, and he's matching the pace of the leaders. When we came here in 2020, Joe Roberts was on pole. He took 3rd place behind Enea Bastianini and Sam Lowes. His first podium in Grand Prix racing. Loves this venue. Can he rekindle the form that took it to Grand Prix victory last year? That took him to the head of the championship, of course, let's not forget, last season. Only 2 wins to his name, that race in Estoril. Estoril, my apologies, Portimao back in 22, and then of course Mugello last year. So this would be a third Grand Prix victory. Is it too late for Joe as regards MotoGP?
I don't think so. Honestly, I think he's got the right passport for sure. Got the right image for Liberty Media to promote an American, and riding like this for sure. You've got to take a look at him when we think the class acts that are in this Moto2 field and how they typically adapt to MotoGP. Joe's certainly putting himself in the shop window. We know there's a big change happening in 2027, and he's secured his future for next season, one more year in Moto2. Obviously, age will go against him as we start to get on, but at 28 years of age, I still think he's got plenty of time left to have an American in MotoGP.
Colin Edwards was 29, wasn't he, when he came across from World Superbikes back in the day? Yeah, you just wonder. You wonder if people have seen enough over the years, the inconsistencies. You know, if Aaron Cannett's not getting a shot, then why should Joe Roberts? But you are right, the passport does play a part in it. And with new owners for the sport, American owners, you'd think that they might want someone with the stars and stripes.
Believe me, they don't.
On that occasion for Joe Roberts as he came through turn 1, but cuts across nicely, finishes off the corner nicely, power down towards 3 now. Can he break Barry Balter's spirit? He upped his pace again on that last lap, Joe Roberts, 159.6. Balter's a 159.7. The only other rider in the 59 bracket, Marcos Ramirez, who started with them both on the front row of the grid, but he's down in 8th, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, Ramirez doing his personal best. He had certainly got pace to battle for the final podium spot. I think could have given Gonzalez a race for it today, but I don't think he could have matched Baltas and Joe. You can see, look, how Joe takes just a few meters out of Baltas, and then in these long hanging corners where Joe's really strong, Barry gains a little back in braking, and he's having to work harder to hang on to the coattails of Joe Roberts.
And again, another black line as he must be stamping on the rear brake into entry into that left-right S. Again, watch him down the hill towards turn 10. We're going to see him crossed up again, Baltas. Joe Roberts is much more here of a 250 style, I would say.
Yeah, very smooth.
Smooth and wide swooping lines. There's Eaton Buttbull, team boss for the American racing team. But Barry is much more point and squirt, much more Ayagura style, I suppose.
Yeah, Barry certainly makes the difference in the braking zones. He can stop. He comes in actually sideways from a wide entry, a wide swooping line coming in. So yeah, it's spectacular. It's nice to watch. It's flamboyant, more so than Joe. He uses his levers to change direction a bit more aggressively there from 13 to 14 in the last sector. But yeah, you can tell he's putting a little more physical effort in than Joe Roberts at the moment to do these lap times.
Again, Roberts another 159.6, metronomic at the front. Since he's hit the front, he has not wavered, has he, in terms of his pace? He has hit every mark so far, but there is still 3 laps to go in this race for Joe Roberts. The gap to Baltas at half a second now.
Yeah, he's chipped away a 10th a lap. That's impressive, isn't it? The metronomic pace set by Joe Roberts. And he does look Lorenzo-esque, very settled in the middle of the turn, body's so relaxed. His position on the bike, the way he gets it turned and accelerating off the corners.
Oh, 2 riders down.
Pavlik and Eric Fernandez having a coming together.
I feel for the pole.
Fernandez keeps on going.
To cheer him on this weekend. Oh, and it's Eric Fernandez has got that one wrong.
I
mean, he tried to level it, but got it completely wrong and just took out the front wheel of Pavlik. So, the end of the race for the wild card.
You imagine that will be a penalty for Fernandez on return to racing after the summer break in Austria.
The lunge, wasn't it? It was behind, late lunge, and then just cleared through the front wheel of the pole. Talking of pole in this race, it was Barry Baltas, of course, who started on pole. It was quite cheeky. Followed Joe Roberts throughout the whole race, didn't he? The whole qualifying session, and then just pipped him.
Yeah, at the time I felt for Joe a little bit, but I was equally happy for Baltas to have his maiden pole position. But yeah, cheeky indeed to get 3 laps behind Joe, and Joe continued to push on. that shows a confidence as well for the American to not worry about the rider behind him, belief in his own ability to get the job done.
Yeah, what he said was, it'd have been lovely to have pole, but you know what? I've got the pace and I'm on the front row, and that's all that matters today, and it looks like that is all that's going to matter. At the front, they cross the line, still half a second between them.
Two to go. Whoa, big twitch here for Arenas.
Albert Arenas, and now David Alonso who's coming forward. I wonder if Alonso, you know, as he gets to grips with Moto2, kind on his front tyre back to everyone else. Alonso Lopez, for example, has dropped like a stone, whereas David Alonso's coming forward.
Yeah, he's always got an ability in the end. Look at this under Arenas in turn 1. Yeah, that would suggest he's got a little more grip than the bike in front.
So Alonso now up into 9th place ahead of Arenas.
From 19th on the grid as well. Yeah, he's struggled to get the grips with this circuit, no prior knowledge, and not suiting his style initially where he was attacking too much, but yeah, he's figured things out and come forward nicely in the race.
1.5 laps to go in the Moto2 Grand Prix of Czechia, and it's Joe Roberts leading, Balta second. We saw Gonzalez coming through in third. Then Danny Olgado has got Celestino Vietti for company. Pace very, very similar, however. Olgado could well hold on to that spot. That would match his best result of the season so far, which came back in Qatar.
Joe Roberts, though, on course for his third ever win.
Race here, but these 16 points are so important in terms of the title race, especially with Canet down pit lane after his early race crash.
And it looks like that's really deep in there, very late apex for him. He's under pressure, isn't he, though, from Ramirez, who on the last couple of laps has nearly been a second quicker than him. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold on here, the Czech rider. Ramirez lurking, ready to pounce with extra pace. At the front, top left, Joe Roberts is about to start the last lap of this Grand Prix. Ooh, Ramirez pushing it deep on the brakes there. Give a little encouragement to Philip. They can hold on for one more lap.
Yep, this is the last lap of the race. Joe Roberts in contention for his third ever win after Portugal, the Algarve in 2022, and the Italian Grand Prix at Mugello last year. Battle for 7th, Salak v Guevara, and unfortunately, Marcus Ramirez, and Ramirez goes through. Graphics on Moto2 stream being a bit glitchy in this one. Hasn't really been the easiest to follow. But Joe Roberts done everything he's needed to do. Latest news actually from Toronto for the IndyCar race that's coming up. It's rained heavily overnight. Track might be wet for warm-up, but it should be okay for the race, just a heads up. Dixon's passed Ortola for 11th position. So there has been some change. I expected that to come through. He'll be over the last couple of corners then, and up towards the line. It's a full second now. Barry Boltis will happily settle, unfortunately, for second position. His best finish again, it'll be his 6th podium. A first pole can't go with a first win. But for Joe Roberts, it'll be his 3rd in the Premier, it'll be his 3rd in Moto2. 2 more corners to go. We will hear the American national anthem for the American rider and the American team out of the last 2 corners. An exceptional performance today. His 3rd career win. Joe Roberts wins the Grand Prix of Czechia. He points to the #1 and wins. Barry Boltis is 2nd. Manuel Gonzalez is 3rd. And I can already hear Matt and Josie right now, colleagues in the MotoGP paddock, absolutely jumping for joy that their man has taken the win. There they are, there's Josie on the pit wall, getting the social media atmosphere. Matt Dunn's around there somewhere as well. Look forward to seeing their post later on as well. The American and the 16, the Joe Roberts fans are delighted they've seen a win. There's Matt. the OnlyFans American team, and Joe Roberts, the American. A wheelie in celebration. A brilliant victory. Well, it certainly has been entertaining. Moto2 getting better and better, but Gonzalez takes the title lead by 25 points. Baltus gets another podium, and it is Joe Roberts victorious. Oh, contact at the last corner, and contact at the last corner, and that's why Emil Suzuki's gone down and out of the race. He's getting taken out, I think, by Yuki Kuni to come through. What a shame for Baltas. Must have been bored of second place finishes. I agree. I think he is bored of second place finishes. So there's the results in on the screen. The championship's going to be a big switcheroo, which I think is, right and quite exciting. We're going to be in for a weird one. Second half of the season, certainly getting back up. Lucky I'm not a betting man. Thank you for the post. Ah, pizza. Hello, my friend. We are going to be moving over to JB Motorsports, the main YouTube channel for the MotoGP Grand Prix. The stream is already set up. So Moto3 Moto2 is on the 2nd, but you need to switch over to JB Motorsports for the MotoGP race. That's coming up in an hour's time. I look forward to seeing you all there as well. We'll stay on here for the podium ceremony and all of the action. And then we will be gearing up as well with our pre-show at 12:45 British Summer Time. That's 1:45 Central European Time as well for all of the action from the Grand Prix of the Czech Republic for MotoGP. It's going to be a fascinating round. Next week, we've got the return as well of a couple of other series. Every series is on, apart from MotoGP next weekend, and it is one of our busiest of the year going forward. It is the Grand Prix of Belgium, with Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3 and Porsche Supercup. Formula E is in London, IndyCar's at Laguna Seca. World Superbikes are at Hungary as well. We'll be covering all of that action, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for NASCAR, Xfinity and trucks as well. So it's a bit of a busy weekend next time out as well to be thrown in at the deep end. Right now, though, let's send it back downstairs to Gavin Emmett and Rachel at TNT Sports as Joe Roberts is the winner of the Grand Prix of Czechia.
Welcome back to the Czech Republic, where Filip Salač is celebrating with his home crowd and his team who've made it down there. He finished in 8th across the line. Very, very nervous on the grid. You could see that. Decent ride into 8th place today. The only Czech rider in the championship, of course. So, some valuable championship points moving ahead of Alonso Lopez. Although Marcos Ramirez and Joe Roberts, after their results today, will go back ahead in front of him. Barry Baltus gets a pat on his helmet after a really solid ride behind Joe Roberts today. Manuel Gonzalez just did what the doctor ordered, brought it home safely for 16 championship points. And no one can match the American today, Michael. Joe Roberts, the winner, and in fine style too.
He looked good all weekend long. We've been saying it, his rhythm, even his bike setup looks very settled in the turns, not too much when there was a lot of skipping and jumping from some bikes. His just looked like it was drifting perfectly on entry, turning for him. And he continued with the pace every session. He was only bettered for pole, and in the wet weather session, with every dry session, he led the way and then continued that form and race day with a controlled and perfect win.
Everything about it was controlled, wasn't it? Everything was smooth, inch perfect, consistent throughout the race. Had the pace and knew he had the pace, but then backed it up in the race. And he proudly waves the Stars and Stripes above his head. Relief, I suppose, in that situation when you are the favourite going into race to back up that favourite status.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of pressure. There's relief that he's got the job done, relief that he's back on the top step after a lean spell, and yeah, cement himself back as a very front runner here in Moto2. yeah, it'll just feel so nice heading into the summer break, right?
For all the team as well, supporting him. The early part of the year, you know, when things weren't going right, he went down, spoke to the team, and panic buttons weren't being hit at those stages. No points for the first 3 rounds, a single point in Qatar. And since then, everything in the points, 11th, then 12th, then 8th in the UK. It was his first top 10 of the year, 7th in Aragon. He hasn't been out the top 10 since, 9th in Mugello, 5th in Assen, 6th in Germany, building all to this moment where he takes his first win of the season.
Yeah, 6 top 10s in the bounce isn't easy to achieve at any time in Moto2, so yeah, he can take a lot from that, and to obviously crown it with the victory here ahead of the summer break.
No one else has done it. Manuel Gonzalez didn't have 6 top 10s in a row. Currently, he hasn't done that any stage this year. You know, it's consistent. It's consistent from Roberts. Aaron Canet, the only other one who had done it up to today.
Big shame for Canet points-wise, but he will live to fight another day. His consistent run has ended.
So Manuel Gonzalez celebrates 16 points for 3rd, and he's down there with Jack.
Manu, great job. A hugely important podium for the championship. At what point in the race did you know that Aaron was out, and how did that affect the tactics for the remainder of it?
Well, the team sent me the message half of the race, but I did my own race. If I'm honest, I didn't have more to be with the riders in front. I tried to stay there, but I was struggling with the bike to make a good turn in the exit of the corners. We need more work on this point, but I'm super happy because we are still on the podium. Always on the podium is the key to win the championship, and it's what we want, no? So yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for the team, for the work, and the sponsors and family. And my girlfriend always supporting, so yeah, now we go to a summer, yeah, some rest, but continue working.
Another top ride, well done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, he knew to settle for 16 points was all that he required today with Canet. Canet's no score, the first for him since Japan last year, 16 races in a row where he scored points.
Yeah, that's a good run. 16 races on the bounce in Moto2, always in the points, shows Canet's step up in terms of his performance over the last 24 months.
Always in the top 10 as well. A few wins thrown in for good measure for Aaron, but not today. 0 after he crashed out at turn 1. Gonzalez there taking 3rd place. And then Barry Baltus. Now we'll hear from him. Another 2nd place, 4th of the year for the Belgian, but another great ride.
Barry, a top weekend, pole position, 2nd place again. I'm sure that victory isn't too far away. What did Joe just have a little bit extra today?
Well, the pace we showed was just unbelievable. We were riding 59 every lap, and I see the gap between me and the other was massive. So it was just too fast. I tried to keep my pace in the beginning, but when he passed me, I know that he was stronger, and I just tried to follow. But yeah, I want to say sorry for the start because I did a small mistake on the start, and I completely got on his line, so sorry, but wait. He was so strong, we were so strong, we were much faster than the other, but yeah. Again, 2nd is like this, it will come, but it's nice to finish like this before the summer break. And yeah, thanks to all the team, all my family, all my sponsor, and see you next one.
Great ride, well done.
Thank you.
Good of Barry to make a nod there to Joe off the start. Oh, just a little slip, wasn't it? Here we can see it again from pole. What happened here, Michael?
Yeah, just I think he's got his body weight too far off to the right side, and it dragged the bike over. When the front wheel is put in the air, you can't really steer, and it is a balance issue. Simply he got it wrong. He should have been a bit more central on the machine, but he done well to recover, and I don't think Joe will be too upset about that one.
No, he was down to 4th. That's why he kept his wits about him, didn't he? Joe Roberts. Look, it's not been a classic race, either in Moto3 or in Moto2 so far today, and a lot of that is down just to the lack of dry running, isn't it? And what Barry's saying, the pace was incredible, and no one was able to match them.
Relentless at the front from the American, and yeah, Barry, the only guy who could hang on to Joe Roberts' coattails.
Good to see that smile again on Joe Roberts' face, a Grand Prix winner once more over a year since he last won in Mugello.
Joe, what a 12 months you've had, from World Championship contender to the biggest injury of your career, and now you're back on the top of Moto2. Just how much does this mean?
Yeah, I mean, you said it, man. It's been a wild ride the last 12 months, and it means so much. I mean, this is just honestly one of my favorite tracks. I told the guys that we're winning today. It has to be today because this place holds such a special place in my heart, and I want to say a huge thank you to my team because, like you said, it's been a hard 12 months, and they've just really stuck by me and just kept the confidence with me, and couldn't do it without them, and I'm just so stoked for the win. It's so awesome. Thank you.
Huge congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, huge congratulations. It's one thing saying you're going to do it and then one thing actually doing it, isn't it, Neil? You two know that, I guess, better than most of people out there.
Yeah, I mean, what a ride, though. I mean, that has been it's been an awful journey the last 12 months. When he lost that MotoGP ride, it did his head in. He lost a bit of confidence, the results went missing. Then he got the injury, the scaphoid bone, which is a nightmare. Poor blood supply to it, the bone starts to die, operation. Season starts, no results. I remember watching him battling for 25th in those opening rounds, and I'm thinking, looks like Joe Roberts is done. But he's done what every true champion does. He's kept fighting. The team stuck by him, which is so important. And it's these sorts of days that you see his talent, see his ability. So I'm made up for him.
And we see this as well, don't we, time and time again, a rider loving a certain circuit and then saying they want to do it and actually managing to deliver. That's difficult to do, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult, but you need to have that confidence, and Joe definitely had that confidence today. It's so nice to see that story, coming of his comeback, because we were talking about him last year for a few Grand Prix with obviously the opportunity that he could have had going with Trackhouse in Moto Grand Prix, and then the injury, and that whole story is, for me, it feels like you could tell he was quite emotional, because as a rider there is so much going on. There's the doubts, there is the pain, the operations, the fact that you're letting your team down, and you still have to train hard to come back like that. So there's a lot going on there, and yeah, it feels really nice to see him making it work today.
And obviously missed out on the pole yesterday by 0.02 in the end, and that was him dragging Barry Baltus around to the quickest lap, Barry taking pole position. So it was nice for Joe to get his own back and get his first victory since Mugello last year, and a well-deserved one as well. He'll be loving standing on this top step, and he'll be waving to his team who have put so much into him these last 12 months through injury. Right, Gav, I'll let you take away the podium.
Thanks very much, Rachel. Yeah, they're starting to make their way up onto that podium from American Racing Team, standing up for the squad. And then Manuel Gonzalez, your championship leader, now 25 points over Aaron Canet. And Baltus, in turn, up to third in the championship now, ahead of Moreira, ahead of Dixon. He's just 54 behind Gonzalez in the championship, and consistently churning out the podium finishes. Joe Roberts takes the top step. First of all, the trophy will be handed across to one of the co-owners of the American Racing Team. Avner Kass holds aloft that trophy. Points to his team, who have supported Joe so well, you have to say. They have renewed with Joe again for next season, as Manuel Gonzalez collects yet another trophy. 8th podium of the year for the Spaniard. 4 wins, 8 podiums. Really good return from, should we say, the first half of the year, first 12 races. Barry Baltus, the 5th podium of the year, 4 second places. Surely that win is coming soon. Excellent weekend all round. Roberto Locatelli down there, celebrating in front of the podium. But time to hear it for Joe Roberts, a Grand Prix winner once again. 12 months from now, and he can savour that moment on the top step of the podium. In time for him to enjoy a rendition of the Star Spangled Banner.
national anthem, but still, Stars and Stripes will be on as it's champagne time here in Czechia. What a race! Joe Roberts is victorious. We'll be back on JB Motorsports in around about 35 minutes' time for the Grand Prix here at Brno. But Joe Roberts is the winner and Manuel Gonzalez the champion. And Manuel Gonzalez the championship leader. Thanks for your company. We'll see you later on. Bye-bye.